Yeah, well, at the moment, obviously with all the COVID-19 stuff going on, I don't know about preparations. We won't be able to play. And usually we play in that European Championship towards the end of the year in October, but obviously we won't be playing in that this year. So, I mean, preparations will probably have to be put back till next year. But in saying that, we're wrapped that we're in the World Cup and that we're playing, the host nation, England, and our first game against France and Samoa as well. So, all in all, we can't wait to get over there. Yeah, well, you're right. It's a long story. It's been going on for 4 or 5 years, so we were quite used to playing games, away from Greece or, playing other nations in neutral grounds. Obviously played Norway in London, and we played Scotland, one of our last qualifiers in London. It's just an amazing group of players. We got, the heritage players and obviously the players, the domestic players from Greece, great resilience, very passionate, playing for their jersey. Yeah, the way we qualified, it was just a great feeling in the end. Yeah, well, see, that's an interesting game because at that time we were probably in the early stages of the qualifying, and we were only allowed four heritage players. So 13 of the players were actually domestic players from Greece who probably have, they've only been playing the game for 2 or 3 years. For them to pick it up so quickly and to be guided around by our four heritage players. And as you said, it was a fast-paced game, with obviously lots of breaks and scoring try opportunities. But to win that game and to get to the next stage where we could have, a few more heritage players playing against the stronger teams, Scotland and Serbia, was a bonus. But to get to that stage, those domestic players from Greece, they did a wonderful job to get us to that point. We've been over there helping with coaching courses and clinics whenever the Australian or the New Zealand or English players that have Greek heritage come over, are always willing to promote and develop the game over there. And, we've got some really good people over there that are helping us. George Stelianos, who runs the Greek Rugby League there at the moment, he's doing a great job with other people that are involved there as well, getting the game up and going. So, again, it's a long story, but there's several teams that are in Greece that wanted to play, but they couldn't because of the bans that were going on and the political intervention and politics in sport, which I suppose that you would say that was stopping those teams playing. But we're getting to a point now where we're starting to resolve that because we made the World Cup, and there's a lot of teams out there and players that want to play rugby league and can now see that the Greek Rugby League Association is the association for rugby league in Greece, and hopefully, we've been talking to the Pentathlon Federation about working together to make sure that there is no problems with teams joining and making a competition. So you got a lot of teams now that want to play rugby league in Greece, and they can see that, that obviously that we're playing in the World Cup, and it's just going to go from there. It's just going to blossom up. To be honest, Greeks are made to play rugby league. You've got the wrestlers, basketballers, so, hand-eye coordination. So they love playing the sport. It's just I think it's a sport that's just going to shoot off in Greece eventually. Yeah, that's right. It's no use, having an international team of players that aren't originally from the country who you're trying to represent. So we've always made a point of making sure that all domestic players are involved, because we know if the domestic players are playing at the highest level, when they go back to their teams and their clubs in Greece, that they can take all that they learn from obviously the players that are playing or have an NRL or Super League experience, take it back to their teams and improve them as well. So, and it gives them something to look forward to, knowing that there's going to be spots in that World Cup team, so they can play games at the highest level, which is and obviously play for your nation, which is probably the number one thing that you would love to do when you're playing rugby league, is to represent your country. It's a funny thing. I suppose in any sort of game of rugby league, especially at that level, international level, The passion comes into it. The will to win comes into it. Representing your country comes into it. So anything can happen. I mean, we know the three teams we're playing are of the highest quality. England, the host nation, playing in their own country. France, and Samoa. They're all top quality, good teams. But like you said, we'll challenge them, whether we win or not. That'll happen on the day, and hopefully, we can play to our best. And I suppose the other thing is that a lot of our players, the younger players that we had in our team that were 20, 21, they'll be 2 years older and have a little bit more experience playing at that sort of level. So, as you said before, the preparations going into the World Cup with the COVID-19 and all that sort of stuff going on, it hasn't. I suppose it's affected every nation, but hopefully coming to the World Cup that everyone's healthy and ready to play. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the biggest crowd that the Greek boys have played in front of would probably be 400 or 500. They've never played in front of a bigger crowd than that. Hopefully that will happen. And I suppose also we know that Sheffield does have a Greek population, but we also know that one of our local players from Domesticons, Stefanos Bastas, lived in Sheffield for 2 years and played at Doncaster. So he was our first domestic player to make it overseas. So there's a little bit of a connection there as well. Oh, no, definitely. I think that's the one thing great about World Cups and Rugby League tournaments as such is that you become involved in the community, and the players will work off that community spirit, going to schools, walking around the community, saying hello to people, and just getting a connection there. And I think with most sport, if you get a connection with the community comes out to support you. We'll be definitely doing all that sort of stuff. And most of my players love doing that anyway. They love getting around and talking and mingling amongst the people. Yeah, we're in what we call a COVID-19 bubble. So there's about 18 of us staff and 32 players, and basically we leave home, go to work, train, come back home, go to a game, play, and come back. So it's a hard thing to cope with. But the coaching side of things, I'm enjoying coaching at the highest level, and the win on the weekend helps lift the players' spirits. And I don't really have anything else to do because of the sort of the bubble we're living in anyway. So it's not too hard. And I've got a great bunch of players there at Canterbury who are on the same wavelength. We're trying to get off the bottom of the league and try and win as many games as we can. Yeah, it's a massive sacrifice that a lot of people have made, but in saying that, you just look at one of your fellow countrymen, Luke Thompson. He came out to play in the NRL and he had to sit in the hotel for 2 weeks to self-isolate, and then after these 2 weeks, he comes into a bubble. So most people that come to Australia, like to get out, go to the beaches, get out during the day, but he can't. So, that's the sacrifice he's made to play in the NRL, but it's like a double sacrifice because you can't do anything other than go and play football, go home, come to training, go home, go to a game, go home. So it's a massive sacrifice that everyone's made, but to be able to play and to be able to coach and to be able to work when a lot of people don't have jobs at the moment or aren't working at the moment is it's just a godsend for most of us that we can do that. It's a bit hard to say I can't wait. It's so far away, but I actually cannot wait. We started the Greek Rugby League stuff in this country way back in 2003. So it's 17 years in the making. I suppose I can be a little bit more patient for another year, but mate, I just cannot wait